That's me limping to my car, going to the pool. How did I get there, might you ask? Well, let's rewind about 2 weeks ago, where it all started. I ran my fastest half marathon. I'm training for the Columbus Marathon. Huge accomplishment, right? But I felt a small pain in the back of my left Achilles tendon. And, I did what every weekend warrior would do. Ignored it. Ignored it for a week. Then when I ran my midweek run, I usually do about 5 to 6 miles, I felt it again. And it got worse. So I was like, okay, I need to do something about it, right? So my thought, next week, let's stay off of it. I'll ice it twice a day for about 15 minutes. But I noticed everything still was getting worse. But how? How is it getting worse? I'm just icing and stretching. How is it getting worse? My Achilles felt almost like it was burnt, right? I don't even know where the burning would come from. So there was no muscle pain. It was just burnt pain. So I had no pain when I was moving, no pain when I was running, but when I would put socks on, it would hurt. It felt like a skin pain. So when I Googled a lot of it, and I Googled and tried to find some stuff about what was wrong, what was happening, I saw that I was just wearing crappy socks. And that the socks made my back of my Achilles tendon, or just the back of my leg hurt, right? So I did way too much of trying to fix myself to make it better, which then I made it worse. I over-iced, which made it almost a burning sensation. So everything just got worse from there because I was just icing too much. I didn't know that you could ice too much. Well, here, I'm telling you, don't ice more than 15 minutes. Or I only iced for 15 minutes. How did it get worse? Everywhere I read said to ice for only 15 minutes. Ice for 10 minutes. I think it's more to focus on the stretching and stuff like that. So what next? What the old me would have just said, F it. Let's do it next year. Let's, not push yourself. Let's not do anything crazy. No, not this time. I'm going to push through this. I'm going to figure it out. So I thought to myself, how do I keep on track on my marathon training without running, right? So what I thought was I just need to increase my cardio. Okay, so what can I do to increase my cardio? 2 things came to my mind. Number 1 was how I said I'm going to the pool. Okay, I need just to get in the pool. Day 1, just get in the pool to see how many laps you can do. I think that's a big thing. I think that doing something new will help you or help me to get out there and just get in the pool or do something different. What everyone has told me is that getting in the pool is the best full body workout that you can do. They weren't wrong. The day after I got in the pool, muscles hurt that I didn't even know I had, right? So I now switched from running in the morning to just swimming in the morning. I was doing about 20 laps to about 30 laps. I was looking at my heart rate, and my heart rate was doing pretty good. Not as good as my running, but usually during the week, I like to stay in zone 2. So that's not that big of a deal. So it was still in the kind of the area where I wanted it to be. So, I had scheduled for that weekend a 10-mile long run. So how do I connect that? How do I get that 10-mile long run, but not running, right? So I wanted to still do some kind of cardio. Swimming was not reasonable, right? I couldn't swim for that long. I didn't have the muscles ready for that, right? Basically. So I pulled out the bike. So I have a bike. A red Trek. It's not a road bike. So my thought was, I need to run 10 miles. Okay, let's just add our times that by 2. Now 20 miles. Okay, I'll do 20 miles, right? So that all went fine, but there's a huge difference between running and riding a bike, right? So if we look, I'll bring up my heart rates between the two, and you can see that my heart rate when I was running is a lot higher. So I think my running heart rate usually is around about 165, kind of like where I like to keep it. Usually in a hot day or something like that, or it'll slowly go up, right? So usually at the end of it, I try to push myself more to kind of make sure that if I needed to, if I was, when I'm training for that marathon, that I could slow down so I don't need to be running as fast as I want to. So like I said, the big difference between riding the bike is that you have to stop or slow down a lot of the time. So you'll run into stop signs, right, a lot quicker. There's also usually stop lights, people, there's hills, and then you have to slow around turns because you don't know around the turns. So a lot of the times I was just sitting there, you know, just like, you know, because I wanted to keep my heart rate up, but I couldn't because I kept running into, I can't pick up enough speed going downhill because I have to turn around or take a turn. I couldn't do that. Or I run into a stop sign and it's like, well, I have to wait here now till the traffic goes by. But, and again, that is what I really expected. I expected it to slow down. I expected things to go wrong. When you're switching a workout like this or you're injured, the expectations shouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to be the exact same where I am running when I am biking. I don't even have the right equipment for biking. Swimming was a little bit different, but my body is not really ready to jump in the pool and swim a mile. So that was the expectations. The expectations, if I had to stay in that kind of realm of, let's say, swimming and biking, I would have figured it out to make myself better in those categories. But my leg was feeling a lot better. And throughout this whole journey, I was running just at least a mile to kind of test it out. Like, oh, are things getting better? So for the example, when I was saying, when I was icing, things were getting worse. So now I was like, okay, let's stop icing and see if it gets things better. And I noticed that that's kind of what happened. So when I was running, I'll show some kind of videos of me running, and things started to feel better. And then at the end of it, I did a trail run out, which I really liked. Let's just pause there. Let's pause there. So before I get into the whole thing of me getting back into running, I wanted to stay focused at going to the gym, swimming, and biking. Stay focused on that and not really stray away from that till I knew that I'm good. I'm ready to get back into it. But I still needed to be doing some kind of exercise to work my way towards my goal. But keeping that 1 mile in there, it's like, okay, testing it out to make sure that I'm still going in the right direction. I really want to hammer that through type of thing, saying like we need to keep moving in that direction. But kind of after this full week of doing things and going to the pool and going to the pool and then doing these short runs, I feel a lot normal now. So I have a 14-mile run coming up this weekend. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't do my 10-run, like I said, 10-mile run last week. So I really feel like I need to get back at it. Maybe I do a little bit do 7 miles, but I don't know if that's going to help me with so maybe I'll do 7 miles and go to the pool or get on the bike for a little bit longer. That might be something I do. I'll keep everyone updated. This is my first video, and I'm going to try to get maybe 1 to 2 videos a week, kind of showing my training and what's happening. See you guys tomorrow. Next week? Wow, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be.